Do you ever feel like you are on a hamster wheel, busting your ass but getting nowhere? Does it ever feel like you are working twice as hard as everyone else, but only getting half as far? And no matter how badly you want it, it always feels like your goals are just out of reach? Well, you're not alone. It's already March, and I know that we have collectively depleted the global supply of willpower, and millions of New Year's resolutions have long been forgotten by now. Now, we all set big goals for ourselves with the best of intentions and a well-laid 37-point strategic plan. Yet somehow, we all end up right back where we started, broke or broken. Until an inspirational quote scrolls by on Instagram, or another new year or new moon rolls around, and then we get a spark of motivation, so we hop back on the hamster wheel, chasing success, only to fail again. But why do we fail so hard at success? Let's take a look at the 3 stages of growth, because success is our ability to grow beyond our current circumstances, to attain a new level of being, having, or doing. And according to our brains, if you aren't growing, you're dying. So, the first stage of growth is knowing what you want. And honestly, most people fail at stage 1 because they don't actually know what they want. In fact, most often they know what pain they are in, and they're either dwelling on that pain or they think that getting out of pain is the goal. But without a clear idea of what you want your outcome to be, your brain will remain fixated on the pain. You see, our brains are actually amplifiers. So what you focus on, your brain amplifies. Your brain will literally make your pain bigger just because your mind is focused on it. Now, I know this seems like a weird evolutionary disadvantage, but it does have its advantages, like when you're trying to run from a saber-toothed tiger or track down some nuts and berries. Your brain uses pain as a short-term motivator to take action when the situation is life-threatening. However, this motivation strategy fails 100% of the time when we are striving for growth and success because it is not sustainable. The types of goals you set will determine if you even make it to stage 2 of growth. Thinking of your goals as the positive outcome you will gain is the first step to shifting your brain from fear and pain-based motivation to positive, long-term, sustainable motivation. For example, losing weight, getting out of debt, quitting my job. These are all examples of pain-based goals. Outcome-based goals look more like fit into my favorite red dress, earn an extra $20,000 this year, or start a business. Outcome-based goals do not rely on short-term pain motivation. This brings me to stage 2 on the road to growth. Knowledge of the solution. Congratulations if you are part of the 5% of people who actually know what they want. You probably consider yourself a high achiever. I've got some bad news. High achievers often get stuck at stage 2. And trust me, I know how frustrating this is. We hold ourselves to high standards, and we are always looking for new things to learn and ways to grow or achieve bigger and better things. And yet we still feel like no matter how hard we work, we fall short of our goals and never achieve the level of success that we're seeking. So stage 2 in growth is all about the knowledge we need in order to get to our goals. And high achievers love knowledge, but this is also their Achilles heel. So let me explain. When high achievers set out to achieve a goal, they dive right in. They consume all the information. They learn as much as they can about the topic. They probably make a 37-step strategic plan with contingencies built in. They probably learn about the people who have achieved the goal before them. They learn the lingo. They read the books. They buy all the tools and have notebooks full of all the rules. All of this is to create a sense of security to prepare their brains to step outside of their comfort zones. The problem is that high achievers often get high on their own supply. They, and by they I mean you, get a dopamine hit for learning instead of doing. You see, dopamine is the molecule of more, and therefore we think we're growing by learning more. When the real problem is that you are keeping yourself stuck by consuming information and your brain is rewarding you for learning. So you just keep doing more of that. Now, your brain loves this because it feels safe to learn more, especially when it doesn't have to do anything different and scary. Now, We might take small actions towards our goals and might even hit a few milestones, but eventually we find ourselves stuck again. So we head back to the learning mode to get more information. When this doesn't work, we begin to fall down this shame spiral, thinking that it's us, that we're the problem, that we need more resources, more time, more money, more support, more information, and this cycle begins again. Now, this is why almost no one makes it to stage 3, which is embodying the change. Now, the final stage of growth is actually about becoming the new person, the grown-upper version of yourself. Growth and success isn't about reaching new milestones once and then falling back into old patterns or lifestyles. It's about embracing the new identity of the person who has achieved the goal. Okay, I get it. This sounds like super woo-woo, and I do call it touchy-feely super science. But most coaches will tell you that this is the mindset work that you need to do. And it's widely believed that changing your thoughts will change your habits, and your habits will change your beliefs, and your beliefs will change your identity. Now, before all of you think I'm going to sing Kumbaya and whip out some crystals, I can assure you I'm more of a namaste away from me kind of person. I'm all for yoga pants and smoothies, maybe even some breathing exercises and meditation. I mean, I am a hypnotherapist for CRISPR's sake, but I definitely fall more on the side of brain science than I fall on the spirituality side. So while I actually do believe that there is truth to the thoughts, habits, belief, identity loop, I also believe that changing your thoughts and your feelings are not something you do in your mind, but rather something that happens in your brain and your body. And a great example of this is when you were a child, you learned to walk and to speak and to read. And now you can walk down the sidewalk while singing along to the music and reading captions on that TikTok video because you are the grown-upper version of yourself. Your brain and body know how to do all of those things without you having to think about it. This embodiment change happens really fast and easily when we are kids because our brains are still quite plastic and we haven't developed what is called the cognitive filter yet. So in other words, when we are young, our brains are doing all the work because we haven't developed a mind of our own yet. The biggest hurdle we often face when trying to achieve success is thinking. Growth and success happen by doing, not by thinking about it. And this is because our brains, not our minds, are actually driving the ship. All right, I want to talk about something called the can't want tos. Have you ever said to yourself, I know what I need to do, I just can't seem to get it done? I call this the can't want tos. And it's usually an indication that you are stuck in stage 2, thinking about what you need to be doing and learning more to try and fill in the gaps. And when this happens, we often blame ourselves. We think that we're unmotivated, lazy, not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not blank enough. And you fill in the blank with your own inner shame spiral. You're not alone in this. Even the most successful people deal with this. In fact, I just finished up a mastermind workshop called Focused AF with some really high achieving people, including a game show host, a famous YouTuber, a TEDx speaker, 3 authors, a lawyer, a therapist, and a magician. And every single one of them struggle with the same problem. They all know what they need to do, but they weren't doing it. Many people make the mistake of thinking that success is a full body contact sport, that you have to just do it, grind it out, learn more, do more to make it happen. When in reality, the most successful people have learned to just trust their brain, not their mind. Now, we think of this as luck or instincts, but it's actually neuroscience. See, every one of the people in my workshop thought the same thing. They were all high achievers, and they all had the same problem. They had a case of the can't want tos. No matter how hard they tried or how much they learned, they couldn't seem to get past the invisible barriers to their next level of growth. They were all stuck in stage 2, knowledge of the solution. One of the things we covered in Focused AF was that this doesn't mean that they need to learn more about the solution or the steps to getting there. It means that they had to learn how to use the knowledge that they already had to get there. Now, this is where your brain comes in. I want to share with you one of the simple tools that I taught in the workshop to help you hack the 3 stages of growth and learn to use your brain, not your mind, to achieve your goals. It's called the GPS model, and it's actually really simple. I want you to choose one of your goals. And yes, high achievers, I know that you have a long list, but I want you to imagine that you have only a few months to live. And what's that one thing you must accomplish before you die? That's your priority goal. That's the one thing you are going to focus on. All right, let's break this down. So the GPS model. So the G stands for goal. So write down your goal. What do you want? And remember, these are outcome-based goals, not pain-based goals. All right, step 2. The P equals plan. This is the 30,000-foot view of the plan, not a 37-step strategic outline with color-coded subparts. And look, I get you, my color-coding queens. I, too, refuse to give up my rainbow-colored sticky notes and highlighters, but there is a place for them, and I assure you it is not here. This step is about just aiming your brain in the right direction, not trying to give it turn-by-turn instructions. Okay, so to use the previous outcome-based goal, for example, fit into my favorite dress, or earn an extra $20,000 this year, or start a business. Your 30,000-foot view plan might be to exercise more or start a side hustle. This is the general direction you want to head in. The entire point of this step is to simplify the plan, not complicate it. And I promise you, you pretty much can't make it too simple here. All right, the last step in the GPS model is the S, and this means small step. What is the one small step that you can take today, right now, towards that goal? Make this something you can do in an hour or less, and even better if it's something you can do in 5 minutes or less. And then put your Nikes on and just do it. So why does this work? All right, first of all, I hesitate to tell you why until you actually go and do the thing, because I don't want to give you the dopamine spike for learning why. But since you probably won't push yourself to go do the thing without feeling safe and comfy about it, I'll tell you why. So your brain, aka your subconscious mind, processes between 11 and 200 million bits of information per second. Yes, million. And your conscious mind processes about 40 to 50 bits. Now, that's like comparing a rocket ship with warp speed to riding a bicycle. So when you use your conscious mind to write a 37-step color-coded plan, it's like riding a really pretty bicycle to the moon. However, when you jot down the general direction you're heading and allow your brain to do the heavy lifting, it's like putting on your spacesuit, hitting the launch button, and going along for the ride. Taking one small step actually creates momentum because you get a hit of dopamine from taking action instead of consuming information. And if you remember, dopamine is the molecule of more, meaning your brain is going to crave more of that thing you did. That's like a rocket ship that refuels itself. Okay, that's not the only reason why this works, and I hinted at it a little bit, talking about comfort zones. But if you check out this video right here, I dive in deeper on this topic. But for now, all you need to know is that taking baby steps first makes your brain feel safe so that you can take massive action later. Now, if you want to check out Focused AF, where I go deep and explain how our brains are sabotaging our success, you can check out the link in the description to get the full 7-day workshop. Will you please go and do that GPS thing? Go write down your goals, set a plan, do the thing. Only like 2% of you are going to do it. I know. It's sad. All right, if you want to check out that full 7-day workshop and learn how to tap into the power of your brain to get more done, check out the link in the description. I dive deep into how our brains are sabotaging our success and how to break old habits, build unstoppable focus and motivation, and actually get shit done in just 7 days. So check the link in the description below and check out this video over here. Have a good one.